Hello everyone, it's I, Dr. Packer, and welcome back to Packer Reads SCPs. And today we have a very special topic for you. Hello everyone, it's I, Dr. Packer, and today we have a very special topic for you. SCP-5000 Explained. For those of you who don't know, SCP-5000, also known as Y, is an SCP made of two parts. The object SCP-5000, which is a absolute exclusion harness created by an alternate foundation, and the files contained in the suit. SCP-5000's files details the journey of Pedro Wilson, who exists both in the alternate universe and the one this SCP is in. He is stationed in Exclusionary Site-06, a site made to withstand and protect its inhabitants from CK-class restructuring events. A very, very short summary of this tale is the Foundation declares war on the human race and effectively won by destroying everyone in this universe. Or so they wished. Pedro Wilson escaped being killed by the Foundation in that universe, only to be killed by falling from the top of SCP's 579 cell in our universe. The only other survivor of that universe was Dr. Elijah Shaw, who grew SCP-963 into SCP-1437, which leads into many other universes. Now on to the question of this video. Why? Why did the Foundation declare war on the entire human race? And what happened to them? Let's look at the facts that we know. Starting on December 16th, 2019, a project called NUMA was noted as being of special interest. It was a mass amnesticization project and focused on collective human unconsciousness, the psychospace, and a breakthrough was made, but the rest is redacted because, well, that's how the Foundation rolls, isn't it? And the next day, a secret vote was held by the Ethics Committee, and they approved something. 2 days later, redacted instructions were sent to all the senior staff members and site directors, resulting in a wave of, I can't say that on YouTube, and I'm not saying unalive, but you know what it is, and resignations from the Foundation. Dr. Gears is one of the notable high-ranking Foundation members who left. 3 days later, a set of files were sent to all remaining senior staff and site directors, who were told to send to those below them. The message, "Harden your hearts," accompanied these files, which seemingly stops all the bad things. Yeah, bad things. According to Shaw, these files were, quote, just a bunch of images, eggs, trees, religious stuff. He believed he was unaffected due to SCP-963 and him switching bodies. Pedro believes it could have been a mimetic agent, but Shaw claims otherwise, saying, quote, I was being released from something rather than something being forced on me. 3 days after the files were sent out, there was a total site communication blackout, followed by a termination campaign of most human sympathetic SCPs and humanoid SCPs. The GOC would be proud. Until the later stuff. Later on 2/1/2020, mobile task force units were sent to all exclusionary sites to execute all personnel, after which the Foundation declared war on the human race. And here's that lovely, lovely message they sent to all of us. So here's what we know so far. Whatever this NUMA project is has something to do with the Foundation turning on humanity. Whatever that email sent to staff caused a lot of high-ranking Foundation members to rather not be associated with the Foundation. Whatever was in that second email didn't contain a mimetic agent, but released everyone who viewed it from something. Now, let's look at our most famous part of this article. Due to circumstances outside of our control, this directive is now changed. Our mission will be the extermination of the human race. These words, while used as a meme template for many, has huge meanings for solving this mystery. Circumstances outside of our control. Whatever causes them to make this change isn't something they can control, contain, etc. The extermination of the human race. This is interesting as well. The Foundation almost always uses formal and proper words for their documents, and this is a very important document. The Foundation choosing to say exterminate rather than something like destruction or removal or any other word. The Foundation sees humanity as a pest that needs to be exterminated. Let's look at some other parts of this SCP. There's plenty of mention in this article, mainly ones used by the Foundation to further exterminate the human race, but there are two I'd like to focus on. One used by our old friend Wilson, SCP-055. SCP-055 is a anti-meme, meaning all info of it leaks out of a person's mind. The only thing known about it is that it's not around. Also, Wilson has it in a suitcase, which helps him somehow, some reason. Wilson was trying to bring SCP-055 to SCP-579, a fellow mimetic hazard, which has this article heavily redacted, to the point where it has no description, and the Foundation tries to ignore it and hope it stays put. This article has themes of anti-mimetics a lot, if that wasn't obvious, and a lot of, huh? What? And what is going on? The article itself has a little more to explain what in God's name is going on here, so let's look at the fall of the GOC. This audio log is from this audio log is from Ganser. I'm so sorry, folks. I know for a fact I have butchered this one, but it's the GOC's secret last defense of humanity, which got found by the Foundation, and yeah. Anyways, back to the script. The GOC's top secret and super secure bunker where a lot of the refugee population is hiding. The GOC has captured an MTF unit member, Samuel Ross of Omega 2, also known as Secret Keepers. Apparently, he's the first of many captured SCP personnel, but he's the first to speak. The interrogator in this log is Commander Morrison, who apparently did a joint mission with MTF Omega 2 in the past, and this is why Ross is speaking, or so he claims. Now, an interesting thing I'd like to point out here is that he says this, quote, "Once you realize you're not supposed to feel pain, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore." You're not supposed to feel pain? And Ross tries to get Morrison to stop talking. He tries to get him to stop asking what this means. Before Commander Morrison and Dr. Rhodes, the other poor soul in the room, can be heard screaming wildly, and, oh god, wet cracks and sound of rushing wind are also audible. The screaming, which grows louder, high-pitched, and over time, continues for the remainder of the recording, killing both GOC members, and shortly after, Gassner fell, and everyone inside was killed. Or something like that. I've heard different reports, but you're in a big underwater base and it went kablooey. I don't see many people getting out unless they were lucky to get on some sort of evacuation sub. But anyone who was still in there probably isn't coming out alive. Now, Ross has a reversed version of what the Foundation's motto is: "We die in the dark so you can live in the light." And he says, "We fight in the light so you can die in the dark." And says, "disgusting." Something a reptile friend of ours is fond of saying. This links to another article which I will come back to. Something I've wanted to discuss is the Foundation members in the timeline part I mentioned. The set of emails they received and whatever they were freed of. But whatever this thing is they were freed of, and what's it doing to them? Here's how Wilson described the Foundation members he sees. 9 soldiers of MTF Epsilon 6 village idiots line up and are stabbed in the shoulders by their commander with no reaction, except for number 8, who recoils in pain and is shot for being a, quote, live one. Site 19 staff were acting like everything was normal, but discussing maximizing human casualties, and they were noted as having, quote, something missing from their eyes and making them look inhuman and not alive. Further, he encountered, quote, blinkers, who appear to be statues of MTF soldiers with blank eye sockets and sharpened arms. A set of MTF units fighting an unknown anomaly. Wilson believes these soldiers were unaffected by whatever is happening and defected from the Foundation, but it's unknown. So, here's the story I've managed to piece together so far. The Foundation has this NUMA project They turned on humanity and seemingly lost their own humanity and tried to kill as much of the human race as possible and make it where it could never restart again. Wilson got SCP-055, probably from Site-19, and it's taking it to SCP-579 for some reason. He doesn't even know or understand. This alternate universe, Wilson managed to make it to our universe wearing the absolute exclusion harness. But this keeps coming back, this Numa Project. What is the Numa Project? Well, looking at the disgusting article shed some light on this whole mystery. The short tale stars SCP-682, hating the Foundation humanity and getting ready to escape. But he thinks this. It was relaxing compared to the vile entity's torment. The creature took comfort in knowing what it endured now was but a microscopic fraction of the suffering that awaited the disgusting things that kept it captive. The entity. What is this entity SCP-682 knows about? 682 is surprised as Foundation researchers free him and enter his chamber, but he sees something, or rather the lack of something in their eyes, which makes him speak to them rather than killing them. Their research into the collective psychospace of humanity, this Numa Project revealed to them this entity which SCP-682 knows about. Whatever this entity is intertwined with the human concept of pain. It feeds off it. It needs it. It's what's using us. This is what SCP-682 found disgusting about us. The staff revealed what was in that email. That email cured them, freed them of the entity and its pain and suffering. They knew what they must do. They must kill everyone. If the cure was spread to all, the entity would catch on and stop them. But with only the Foundation cured, they could relieve the human race of its suffering by killing them, just as 682 has always wanted to do. They failed, however. Wilson, quote, saved humanity and reset the world, or maybe spread the entity further. All we know for sure is that SCP-682 is no longer disgusted but disappointed. So, yes folks, I had been lying to you this entire time. Wilson did not travel to another universe. He reset this timeline. He stopped the Foundation from killing humanity. But he doomed us. The entity prevailed. The entity used Wilson. It gave him 055. It needed him to bring it to the site. It needed him to reset the timeline. So, why did the Foundation turn on humanity? To save humanity. Thank you for listening. I've been Dr. Packer, and I'm very happy to see you've made it to the end. Have a good day, and I will see you next time.